I think this is probably the last time I'm doing this video. Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? Happy New Year. No, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. Hope you enjoy your night and New Year's Day, and I hope 2026 is so much better for you than 2025. I'm kind of lucky ones where 2025 was actually a pretty good year for me, which is probably the best year I've had in a long time. But I know a lot of people are still suffering and this and that, and you know, I hope it's a better year for you. Let's talk a little bit about my channel though. Just some things to correct. My channel is a channel that talks about my experiences and talks about what works for me, what didn't work for me, to try to help people, okay? So they don't feel alone. A lot of people feel alone. A lot of people have tons of questions about surgeries and about gentamicin shots and steroid shots and beta histine and this new drug that's supposed to be coming out, Epsilon. And, excuse me, people have a ton of questions and they're scared out of their minds, you know. And some doctors try antidepressants, and some doctors try, anti-anxiety meds and all kinds of things. And then there's rescue meds, and sometimes people are scared about that because there's, meclizine. It can, if you take enough of it, if you're taking meclizine 3 times a day for 20 years, yeah, you're going to have a problem with dementia. And people are scared about that, and it's just everything. And really, my channel is saying, you're not alone. It's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not what you're making it out to be. And believe me, in the beginning, I was like that. And that's why I do this. I don't do this for some sort of recognition or to prove I'm right about something or this and that and the other thing. There are things I get wrong. Let's face it. Okay? The endolymphatic fluid, endolymphatic fluid. I do have problems saying some words. Endolymphatic fluid. I was wrong about it. I literally thought it was like the stomach acid. Okay? Because that's the way it was explained to me. But I was wrong, and I made a video admitting it. Because I was wrong. Now, I'm not going to redo that video because somebody messaged me and told me how wrong I was, and that's old thinking, and this, that, and the other thing, and used a ton of words that I couldn't even understand. I couldn't really understand. That's their opinion. They can have their opinion. They can stick with their opinion. They can spout it any way you want. I don't care. I'm not changing the way I think, the way it was explained to me, the way it's explained. I found research that's explained to me about it, that the membrane inside does rupture and the fluids do mix, and that's what causes the vertigo. And yes, you do lose hearing. Obviously, the person didn't watch the whole video or listen to the video, just kind of went, he's wrong, and tuned me out. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm me. I'm a simple human being that suffers from bilateral Meniere's disease and does what I'm supposed to be doing, helping others, making sure they don't feel alone, trying to answer questions like about the surgeries I've had, medications I've tried, things like that. And I'm not a doctor, and I don't pretend to be one. I don't act like I'm a medical doctor. I don't act like I worked in the medical field. The closest thing I ever got to studying anything about medicine was when my mother worked for the New England Medical Journal. And she brought home a magazine every month that they came out with it. Every month. And she would read it first, and then I would read it. And then we would discuss it. And a lot of that stuff I forget. Even though I have a ton of them down in my basement. I have a ton of those. I have all those vaccines in my basement. But that's the closest I've ever gotten to any type of medical research talk or anything. I spent 35 years as a copier technician. That's what I did. And 2 years before that, I was a mechanic. An auto mechanic. And a gas pumper. Mostly gas pumper, tires, oil changes. Sometimes an occasional carburetor brake job, but I did mostly the simple stuff. and had fun. I made more money than the owner just in tips sometimes. But I didn't come from a medical background. And I'm not going to say I did. I'm not going to bullshit my way through it. The information I pass off is real. Okay? I don't talk about cures either. There is no cure. Okay? There is no cure for Meniere's disease. And I'm not going to sit there and say there is, because there isn't. Okay? There's no cure for tinnitus either. If your tinnitus went away, God bless you. But there's no cure. I still get it in this ear after my labyrinthectomy. Okay? And the cochlear implant. Actually, it's a little better. It's not as bad, but it does get bad. Can get bad. But that's my channel. That's why I do what I do. Sometimes something of a higher power calls you to do things. And that's what I do. And that calling is to help others. It's always been my calling, my whole life. I'm not going to stop now. And I'm not going to have somebody who is, I don't know what they're doing, thinks they're a big researcher or whatever they think they are, is going to stop me from doing it. So I said, if you don't like my stuff, get off my channel. You don't need to see it. It's fine by me. I don't get upset if somebody leaves. I do get happy when more people join. But I don't get upset when somebody leaves. Hey, you got your information you wanted. That's fine. You might be back. You might not. You might still watch my videos. Just not subscribed. And like I've always said too, I don't make a dime from it. I make no money. Everything is on my dime. This camera I'm using, this microphone I'm using. One PC. MacBook over here that I've been using mostly lately. That's all on my dime. Not YouTube money, because I don't make any money on YouTube. It's on my dime. All my time and effort, my dime. I don't get paid. I don't get paid to be an admin either. And I admin one of the biggest groups out there. And that's it. I'm done rambling. So, final note is, Happy New Year. Enjoy tomorrow. Like I said, for Christmas, you know what you can eat. You know what you can drink. You know what you can do. So, do yourself a favor. If sodium is your thing, don't eat a lot of sodium. If sugar is your thing, don't eat a lot of sugar. If alcohol is your thing that triggers you, don't drink it. Have one shot of vodka instead of having half the bottle. Okay? Or, have one beer instead of having 7. You might be okay. And drink a lot of water. And you'll wake up the next day feeling a lot better than you would have. So, enjoy yourselves. Be careful. And peace and love in the next year. Talk to you later.